All right, so welcome. Let's get down to business. If you can see the title of the video, it's the Triple H burial. Is Triple H best for business? And I'll explain the title to you. So basically, I said in my previous videos, if you follow my channel, if you're a subscriber, I was never a big fan of Triple H, the wrestler. Uh, Not that he wasn't he was terrible, but he never really did it for me. He was just, he was a good heel back in the Attitude Era. The one match that really stood out from back then was in the Royal Rumble 2000 when he had at Madison Square Garden against Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, and the street fight. That was the match I think that propelled Triple H. And of course, we all know his history. He went from dating China to then dating Stephanie and then marrying Stephanie, and the rest is history. And then followed after the Attitude Era, the Rules of Aggression era, where he was pretty much the top guy or the face of the company, and you knew that was going to happen. Uh, and basically, that's where it really started. My dislike for him started when he would quote unquote bury all the the wrestlers from WCW and ECW, going over on them. Just it comes out afterwards how he was politics. He used politics backstage. Who could forget? There was a story about the ex-writer who, during that time, it was around like 2004, 2005. He would be so nervous to hand Triple H the script. Triple H didn't even want to read it. He would just say, "Am I going fucking over?" If not, he would just rip up the script, and the writer would have to go back and rewrite the script so Triple H would go over. Even if it was a disqualification, he would lose by disqualification. He had to go over all the time. So just that I mean, a lot of people that they want to believe the rumors about WWE when it fits them. Of course, this is going to tie in with Vince McMahon, that whole thing. I'm not going to call these people wrestling fans IWC. I guess it's an outdated term, and people get offended by it. And I guess we're all on the internet. We're all the IWC, or YouTube wrestling community, whatever you want to. Also, but now I'll call them the dirt sheet readers. Who these people, all they do is they see posts, memes come up in their feed from dirt sheets. I won't name them all. It starts off with Dave Meltzer, and then everybody copies and pastes. There's no sources. Even Dave Meltzer, he claims to have sources, and then when he's wrong, he'll say, "Oh, they changed the plans, but that's what was going to happen." Like he has the inside scoop. Like he's sitting in on the meetings. Uh, First of all, listen, are they fun to read the dirt sheets? Yeah, you want to get a little inside scoop, but they don't mean anything. They're not. There's no credibility. And again, they all copy and paste it. If you notice, there's one story, and then every other website, the dirt sheet carries the same story. And it's all similar. There's all similar talking points, and it's all similar beliefs and opinions. And I mean, for years now, it's been Vince McMahon. He's an old man. He's senile. He's out of touch. Uh, he's the one who holds the talent down. He keeps going with the same guys. John Cena. He forces Roman Reigns down your throat. We want other guys. Okay, all right. I mean, I listen. We'll just start slow. Uh, so whenever there's a bad decision, a bad booking decision at WrestleMania or at a pay-per-view, Vince got to go. He's out of touch. That's why WWE is losing ratings, half-empty arenas, uh, you name it. These dirt sheet readers, they just, that's their mantra. And of course now, probably the last 2018, probably the last 4 years, maybe I'll say 5 years, since NXT really took off, and Triple H runs NXT. These same people, the dirt sheet readers, IWC, whatever you want to call them, hardcore wrestling fans who love NXT, they think it's the greatest thing. It's the greatest wrestling they've ever seen, or it's so good. Uh, it's so much better than WWE. Okay, listen, I've made previous videos about NXT. I'm going to try and keep my voice down a little bit because it's a little late and I don't want to start screaming. Okay, they start saying Triple H, he knows how to run NXT. NXT puts on a great show. The fans are always happy. The takeovers are always a home run. They push the right guys. They push their people. They push their performers strong. They're never buried. They're never made to look weak. Okay, yeah, you're right. Uh, First of all, I have to explain to you. I explained to people a million times. The other one is NXT. It's its own brand. I heard the other one that Vince is jealous of Triple H and the success that NXT is having. I'm not making it up. I'm gonna. If you bear with me, hopefully, uh, I won't bore you, or if you're already hurt of things I'm saying or things you think I'm gonna say, you're gonna get triggered, and you can hit the dislike button, or maybe if you're a subscriber, you're gonna unsubscribe. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm gonna listen. I said it previously. I should probably have right now. I've had this channel for over almost a year now, over a year. I should probably have over 2, 3, 4,000, 5,000 subscribers. If you look, I only have right now. I have far, far less. I don't make content every day. When I do, it's the quote unquote unpopular opinion. I don't cater to that, to a certain wrestling audience. And if you're watching, also I've put some computer tech advice on my channel. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, but basically my channel is wrestling, sports, New York sports, whatever. I'll put anything on. And now since YouTube is changing as of February 22nd, unless you have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours watched per month, the previous month, they're gonna demonetize your channel. So now I'm gonna be more loose. Okay, like I said in one of my previous videos, I was trying to be couth. I wasn't gonna try and curse up a store. Not that I'm gonna do it now, but I'm not gonna be as hesitant to. So anyway, getting back, NXT. Let me explain to you why. Listen, I understand the luster of NXT. I understand why these fans love NXT and are enamored with NXT compared to WWE, because it's first of all, anything decent besides WWE is like a fresh coat of paint. It's a fresh breath of air. Because WWE, let's face it, is a monopoly. Okay, and we in the back in the 90s, 80s, there was multiple promotions, good, pretty decent, successful promotions. WCW, ECW, AWA, whatever. The list goes on. So, and those, it was something for everybody. The NWA had the wrestling. ECW had the extreme. They had great matches, technical matches. They would bring in stars from all over, and just basically. And WWE was always WWE. But now there is nothing, and now so NXT which is run and is part of WWE. I hope you know that. They not offer a different product, but it's a different format. That's as much as I'll say. So NXT, I'm going to explain to you what NXT is. And you'll be, oh, I know what it is. So it's developmental territory. Okay, yeah, good. I'm glad. Well, so far, yeah. So NXT is a developmental territory. It's a training center, and it was run by. They used to have. It's it was Triple H's project. Vince said he went. Triple H went to Vince back in 2010, whatever it was. Let's do this. Let's do that because of the fallout of WCW and ECW and other territories going out of business. Now there was a lack of talent. There was a vacuum of talent. There was no talent, ready, available talent, available, or stars in other federations that was that WWE could go and easily sign. Besides Ring of Honor and TNA at the time, the WWE for some reason they were very anti TNA. They didn't want anything to do with TNA. And I don't know why. I guess they just had to think about TNA. They just didn't want to touch anything, and didn't want to have anything to do with TNA or anybody. So anyway, Florida Championship Wrestling becomes NXT. Vince McMahon gives Triple H the blank check. They build a center. They set up the facilities. Triple H, he does it. I've given him credit. He oversaw and he managed it, and and listen, and that's another thing. Don't think he's doing it all by himself. He had a slew of talented writers: Dusty Rhodes, Michael Hayes, William Regal. List goes on and on. The traders he's had. Okay, so it's not only him. It's not all. He's not doing everything. He is basically the manager. He's overseeing it. Okay, so let's again all this credit. So NXT becomes very popular because guess what? They start Triple H, who is, by the way, if you don't know, his title is the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations. It's the same job that JR had, Jim Ross. It's the same job that John Laurinaitis had. They are responsible for signing all the talent for WWE, not just NXT, all. So, again, what did we just say before? The talent was dry. So what does Triple H do? Slowly but surely, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, he starts going around to all the other companies, Ring of Honor, Japan, whatever. He started signing all the top free agent stars: Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, Kevin Owens. We see Nakamura. Now we saw Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe. He brought in that's what the last couple of years they started signing the TNA guys. Okay, so all these guys that we just mentioned, they're stars. They're talented. They were talented before they got to NXT. And then you say, oh, why didn't they go straight to WWE? Well, because for some of those stars, performers who have never actually been in WWE, they want to put them in through NXT, not just sort of teach them what you call the WWE style of wrestling. WWE has a style of wrestling that is unique to them, and it's they have like probably like between 4 to 7, maybe 8 types of matches that they conduct. Okay, and if you watch a lot of WWE, you'll know what I'm talking about. Cameras, they want all the performers, and I'm talking about the women too, to get used to just get used to what it's going to be like in front of a decent sized crowd, because a lot of them probably didn't perform in front of a big crowd. I think NXT is what does that place hold? 1,000, 2,000, maybe. But NXT does go on the road, and their takeover shows, they sell out big arenas. So And these performers get to taste what it's like to be in front of a huge sold out arena like that, and so forth. So it's basically just prepare them. It doesn't make them stars; they're already stars. And then, oh, why is it so? Why is it so? Why are these stars so good in NXT? But then, as I had one guy say, oh, they get squandered on the main roster. Okay, first of all, and this is the difference of why NXT is developmental territory. The main purpose of NXT, or any developmental territory, you could go back in the early 2000s, OVW, that was WW, Jim Cornette's territory. It was developmental territory for WWE. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Batista, The Miz, Shelton Benjamin, Santino Marella. So many guys came through that territory. And just like NXT, that their job was to get these guys ready, to make them look like $1 million, so then they could be presented and are credible to the main roster once they appear there. Okay, this is the main difference that a lot of people, I'm being nice, trying to explain. In NXT, what happens? The champion, whoever, or first of all, the star, the two, 3 stars at a time, they go and they're the main event for the NXT championship, whatever. Once that star loses the championship and moves on, leaves NXT, goes to the main roster, that star never comes back to NXT. He's done, or she's done. They don't come back. So they could book them strong like that, drop the title or whatever, get promoted. They never come back. What happens on Raw, WWE, SmackDown? Somebody loses the pay-per-view, whoever loses the title, guess what? They're on TV the next day. The very next day, if not 48 hours later. Okay? Now they gotta get recycled. They lost the title. They gotta get recycled. Oh, by the way, there's another guy, another main eventer, another top star. All the people that graduated from NXT, all these top stars, Kevin Owens, Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Ambrose, the Shield guys, Samoa Joe, all these guys are now up. All these guys are up. In NXT, not all of them weren't there at once. It was just 2, 3 guys, and then it's like a minor league. It's a feeder system. That's what they call it, a feeder. They're feeding them. They breed them and then they feed them. So on the main roster, there's only so many slots to be featured. Okay, and not everybody gets to make it. Not everybody's going to match the success they had at NXT. Not because they're not capable. It's just circumstances, whatever. Whatever. So a lot of times, don't blame the WWE fans, the main roster fans. A lot of those fans don't put over some fans that popular stars from NXT or whatever. They don't put them over. Remember Tyler Breeze? Oh, whatever. Breeze is gorgeous. Breeze is gorgeous. The guy was over in NXT with his stupid selfie stick. What happened when he went to the main roster? They gave him a shot. Nothing. They didn't respond to him. So, and others. But so far, they have responded to most of them. Okay, so I don't know why you say they squandered them. Most of the NXT call-ups that go up to get promoted to the main roster, they're stars. Most of them right away too. Look at Elias. He was just basically, he wasn't really that big in NXT, but look at him now. So that's the difference between NXT and the main roster. So, and the most important thing is NXT. How many times do they wrestle a month? How many shows do they put on a month? How many hours a week do they provide it? They do the 1 hour on Wednesday. Come on, come on. These guys have to do on the main roster. They're on Raw, SmackDown. They're traveling. They're doing house shows, pay-per-view on Sunday. They get burnt. They get burned out, overexposed. In the old days, people would come to WWE, do their thing. If it didn't work out or they didn't get over, they would go somewhere else. Then they come back, and people. The old saying is, "How am I supposed to miss you if you never leave?" That's another thing. You got people who performers who've been on and performing almost virtually every week for 10, 12 years. That's a long time. How many things could they do with that performer? People still talking about Dolph Ziggler, whatever. Bray Wyatt, he's been there for 4 or 5 years now. How many things could they do with these guys? Oh, I can hear it now. Well, Bray Wyatt, he's the worst. So now that I explained to you the difference between NXT and the main roster, and this notion that Triple H is a super genius, that he went out and signed the stars. I had to hear this, that Vince would have never signed AJ Styles. Vince would have never signed Nakamura. Listen, I said it, I have to explain it again. Vince is the CEO. He has tons and tons of responsibilities. That's why he pays employees to do that work. Triple H isn't the first executive vice president of talent relations. I just mentioned JR in the late '90s, early 2000s. He signed Cena, Brock Lesnar, uh, Shelton Benjamin, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry. The list goes on and on and on. John Laurinaitis, he would sign people too. Triple H isn't the first guy to sign talent, and believe me, if you had Triple H's job in 2014, you wouldn't have signed Kevin Steen to NXT. Well, you wouldn't sign Nakamura to NXT. If you had a chance to get Samoa Joe to come and sign him to NXT, you wouldn't do that. If you had a chance to sign AJ Styles, you wouldn't do that. Of course you would. And plus, and this is another thing that really pisses me off. Triple H is using Vince's money. He's using Vince's resources. He's using WWE's marketing. He's using the network. So let's not give him too much credit. And it's still, from what I've read, NXT has been at times operating in the red. That means losing money. So even though they put on all these big successful takeover shows, it's still bleeding money. Okay? Without the network, without the big bucks of the of Vince's wallet that he could, what do you think what do you think all these stars cost cheap? No, they're coming for big bucks. That's why a lot of them come to WWE, because they are offered more money than any other promotion could afford. Not to mention the royalties and stuff. And what about the marketing, the promotion, the exposure? It's not all Triple H. Yeah, again, like I said, he did his job and he's managing it. It hasn't gone. The place hasn't gone to shit, if you want to say that. But let's not. I mean, you come on. Everything I just mentioned. It's not like he made the money. It's not like he invested his money, and it's all his money. It's not like he made a network. Why do you think a lot of these promotions go under? Because they have no network. They have no TV deal. If they're not on TV, who's going to see them? You think NXT would sell out the Barclays Center without WWE? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on. Oh my God. All right. So basically, and then what triggered me off today, the other day, I had to see, according to the Wrestling Observer, this is why I said dirt sheet readers, Triple H was the man behind Nakamura's win at Royal Rumble. The God Emperor. It's everything good that they like. It's Triple H. Everything bad, Vince's fault. See, and this is what pisses me off. When it's a bad decision, they say, "Oh, well, Frank, you know it just as well as I do. Vince has the final say." Okay, so he has the. If this is true, and I believe me, I tried to search this article, I can't find it. I don't know. I don't know if this is a meme or fake news. Somebody created it, probably. So even when Triple H, let's say he did fight for Nakamura, Vince had to agree. So it's Vince's decision. He made the right choice. If Vince wouldn't have agreed, you would have said, "Oh, Vince is out of touch," right? So Vince is not out of touch. Not the way you say it. Vince is not stupid. He has eyes and ears. He sees the reaction for Nakamura, and the best thing about Vince is he knows talent and charisma, and he knows entertainment, a sports entertainer when he sees it. Nakamura has it. Now he's going to give him a shot. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then the other thing is now they move on. Oh, well, then Nakamura and AJ aren't going to close out WrestleMania because Vince is out of touch. Do you really think? Do you really think that's ever going to happen? And you want to kiss Triple H's ass? Well, guess what? He steals the spotlight at WrestleMania. Okay, look at all his long, elaborate entrances that take 10 minutes. Why is he wrestling at WrestleMania? Taking spotlight away. When it's Brock Lesnar, oh, he's a part timer. He'll belong there. But Triple H, he could wrestle once a month, once a year, twice a year, in WrestleMania, of course, taking the spotlight away from the youngsters. Oh, you won't hear it. Frank, have you seen Triple H's win loss record at WrestleMania? He puts everybody over. Who has he put over? Who has Triple H fought at WrestleMania in the last, I don't know, 8 years that he put over? Oh, Daniel Bryan. You kidding me? Daniel Bryan was going over no matter what. Okay? Who has he put over? And what's this thing with that? And that's another thing. What's this thing that he poses with everybody who wins the championship? Oh, for show support. I don't see Vince McMahon doing it. Oh, Vince McMahon's out of touch. Bullshit. Why does he have to? Why does he have to pose with every performer? Why does he have to leech off these stars? It's leeching. Always have to stay relevant. And now I'll tell you this: why Triple H isn't good for business. All these people who think that when Vince is gone, Triple H is going to the Messiah, the Hunt, the Hearst, the Halsey. Fools that he's going to take WWE back to glory, to heights never seen. Listen, this guy has always had an axe to grind, and he still does. You don't believe me? Oh, Frank, I know he's got a big ego, and he's much better behind the scenes. He's even worse behind the scenes, and when he has power, what do you think? He's going to push his guys. I'm just going to read some of these things since you guys like to read the dirt sheets. This is just articles I read. Maybe you read them. Very recent edition of the Baron Pollock. Former writer Court Barrett made the following claim. One time, Triple H, along with HBK, buried CM Punk. I think it was his 2005 tryout. Barrett said, you probably heard this. Maybe you didn't know the name and wasn't familiar with who it was, but they buried him. They annihilated his look and his work. And I'm like, you just sunk the guy in front of the champion. See, he does good when he fights guys you like, or when he does there's a positive article about him. But how many times has this happened where he sneers? And this goes way back since the Click days. Vince, that's all it takes is one or two guys, Triple H's friends backstage or Triple H's posse, Click. They all agree they're not going to disagree with Triple H. So they go, oh yeah, Vince, yeah, he sucks. I don't know. That's it. And then shortly thereafter, that performer that they buried has one little slip up on TV that night or the day after, and they'll say, "See, Vince, I told you." And that's it. Vince ain't gonna spend more than 10 minutes analyzing things. He's got things to do. He's got bigger fish to fry. And then also, it was Shawn, Triple H, and Arn Anderson. They just fucked up Punk. I don't know if they knew who CM Punk was, because I certainly did. They cut his work apart. They really buried the guy. When Shawn and Hunter were together, man, they buried a bunch of people who were just starting out. I remember they did the same thing to Bobby Lashley. Shawn and Hunter backstage at the event courteside, they would just look out there and they just buried the guy, Lashley. You know how everybody has that friend who brings out the worst in you? That's how it felt all the time to me, dude. They just turned into catty fucking bitches. You hear the stories about Triple H in the Ruthless Aggression era on the bus of wrestlers scared to death to say anything. When Triple H is in the bus, he's talking down to people, doing this, doing that. You want to talk about eggshells? Come on. And listen, Nick, there's a lot of stuff. You want to talk about another favorite? Uh, Vince and Triple H losing faith in Ziggler. To say Vince McMahon has lost faith in Ziggler during this time would be a major understatement. Even though Ziggler was getting good reaction from fans, McMahon was highly critical of Ziggler's instincts in the rings and his promos. Triple H wasn't a big Ziggler fan either. Oh, I guess he didn't fight for Ziggler. He thought Ziggler didn't take direction well and was overly obsessed with trying to be the next Shawn Michaels, which I agree. And plus, Ziggler's promos were underwhelming. However, Ziggler did have one important supporter, and that was WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson, who had been a member of McMahon's inner circle and creative side for decades. So it was Pat Patterson was the one who pushed and pushed for Ziggler to do the cash in. Patterson wanted Ziggler to do it at WrestleMania, and then Vince said, "All right, we'll do it tomorrow at Raw." That was the cash in at 2012. Okay, so stop praising the guy. Stop. Like I said, I can't yell right now, but listen, and let's read this article. Former WWE writer, and you like the dirt sheets? I'll read the dirt sheets. See, it's cherry picking. I'll cherry pick myself. How about that? Former WWE writer recalls when Triple H and Shawn Michaels didn't think Goldberg should be in the Hall of Fame. They didn't think that Goldberg should be in the Hall of Fame. In past interviews, that he did not believe the match was bad, and they were talking about the match at WrestleMania with Brock. Let's see. Okay, Kevin Eck, former writer Kevin Eck, recalled a moment in 2010 when Triple H, talking to SB Nation Atlanta about Goldberg in the Hall of Fame, in addition to calling Goldberg a hodgepodge guy that he did not have a classic rivalry with. He also said that Goldberg did not belong in their Hall of Fame. All right, I get it. It was 2010, and they weren't talking. And then Triple H brings him back. But you remember that stuff with Triple H and Goldberg back then. If you're not, go look it up. And I'll quote, Bill's trying to get into the Hall of Fame, Triple said. If there's a rumor about him coming back, he probably started it. I've not seen any mention of his name. He also added, so when you say, what about Goldberg? No offense to Bill, but you guys like Bruno that are legends with longevity. That should be in there, but they're holding out because they think they got one more run. Using Bill as a example, how many years did he wrestle? Not many. Oh, so now it's how many years he's ready. Listen, this is another thing that Triple H has an axe to grind with. During the Attitude Era, it kills him. It kills him. I'll tell you what kills him. It kills him. That incident in Madison Square Garden with the hug, with the click, when he was the guy who got suspended, costing him the King of the Ring, enabling Steve Austin to win the King of the Ring, and dropping the 316 promo. It kills him that Stone Cold and The Rock became so popular, and he was never a top guy. He was never the top guy at the peak of wrestling. It kills him. It kills him. All those things kill him. Okay? It kills him that he knows he is not a top guy. Deep down, he's not as popular as Hulk Hogan. He's not as popular as all those guys. And I'm going to play you. I'm going to play you a quick clip. Okay, I'm going to play you a quick clip about Triple H and who he really is, and what people really think about him. Because now everybody's scared to talk about him, except if they're a former writer.
You know, if you didn't take it in your ass, yeah, you married the boss's daughter. I get that. Something's not right there. That, I think we could all agree with, okay? But at the end of the day, you're not a great fucking worker, okay? You're not the Ultimate Warrior jumping up on the ropes. You're not Hulk fucking Hogan, okay? You'll never be as big as any of them, or Savage, okay? You can write yourself into every WrestleMania, every year, every 6 months, you're in another thing. But at the end of the fucking day, you are who you are. Make sure he stays in a good position. Because right before that, I think, wasn't he fucking China? Okay, so you figure this one out. Okay, you figure it out because I can't figure it out. You know what? I don't give a fuck. Good for him. Have a happy fucking life. But at the end of the day, if you're talking down about me, that must mean I'm still a thorn in your ass. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and believe me, Triple H is gonna write himself into a lot of WrestleManias. A lot of WrestleManias. Uh I posted before about 2016. Look what he did. He booked himself to win the Royal Rumble 2016. The stipulation was he would win the WWE Championship. Didn't defend the title for 2 months. To headline WrestleMania against Borman Reigns. They had one of the longest, most boring main event matches. Look what happened. Reigns flopped as champion. He sucked. They took the title off him. They put it on Finn Balor. He got hurt. And then what? They gave. And then what? That match with Kevin Owens, when with Triple H, he had to interfere. He had to interfere in that triple threat match with Owens, Rollins, and Reigns. He had to interfere, pedigree both Reigns and Rollins, and he basically handed the title, the Universal title, to Kevin Owens, which killed Kevin Owens' fucking credibility. Killed his credibility. He was garbage as a champion, losing every week on TV to Roman Reigns for the rest of 2016, until finally, towards the end, him and Jericho became the stars. It's fucking Triple H. Always has to stick his nose into his business. And then I had to hear, oh, what about Vince when he used to interfere in matches and he used to come on TV? Because I mentioned how for 3 fucking years, Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, opening up Raw with 20-minute boring promos. Don't ever fucking compare Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon character, the Mr. McMahon character to the Authority, or Triple H interfering in matches and angles. Don't ever fucking compare Mr. McMahon to that. Don't ever fucking compare, because the Mr. McMahon character, that was the peak of wrestling. That was the peak of WWE. Millions and millions and millions of viewers tuned in. And when Triple H and the Boar Authority and him and Stephanie took over, starting in 2011, go check the ratings. Declining every year. 1 million, 2 million viewers, 2.5 million viewers gone. So don't fucking think that Triple H is going to save wrestling when Vince McMahon's gone. That's it. So you want to unlike, unsubscribe? I don't care. That's the truth. Go kiss Triple H's ass. Go keep bad-mouthing Vince McMahon. You're a fool. If you like Triple H as a wrestler, more power to you. But Triple H sucks ass. That's it. Like and subscribe. I'm out of here.